Again, let me begin at the beginning this evening. The wisdom is simple: save America, kill the bill. Now, there are a lot of rumors about what's in and what's out in both spending and taxes, and so far as we know, as Hillary Vaughn reported, there's no deal. My sources, smack inside Republican Senate and House leadership, they tell me we are weeks away, and even then, no one knows about that. Also, as Hillary reported this afternoon, House Ways and Means Chair Richard Neal said the so-called wealth tax is out of the bill. Of course, you recall in the House, the Ways and Means Committee, it was knocked out this past summer. Then it came back. Now it's knocked out again. I'd like to say good, and that's very good, but Mr. Wyden, Senator Ron Wyden, immediately said later that the so-called wealth tax or billionaires tax is not dead. So we don't know. Anyway, I want to talk about this. The progressive left Democrats cannot help themselves. It's like a moth drawn to a flame. They cannot help themselves. It's a perfect example of the philosophy of the current Democratic Party that says, basically, punish success. That's right, punish success. Successful people are bad, evil, a scourge on society. The big government socialist Democrats have no interest in creating jobs, wages, family incomes for typical middle-class, blue-collar Americans. They could care less about economic growth. Their only interest is redistribution, taking from Peter to pay Paul. And Democratic tax policy wants to soak successful individuals and businesses, large and small, because they don't like success. And they simply want to raise money for welfare entitlement purposes. Welfare dependency is their mantra, without any workfare. This is a very old school socialist view, but there you have it. Their key word is equity. Now, I think we used to call that equality, but they want equal results, not just equal opportunity. Sort of like the old Soviet Union model and socialist governments everywhere. These kinds of policies would make everyone equally poor, except for the politically favored nomenclatura. Sound familiar? Left-wing experts ruling over the swamp? Just saying. Now, back to this billionaires tax. First of all, the vast majority of the billionaires were not billionaires when they started out in their garages or homes or wherever. They made a bet, they took a risk. Usually they had a small pile of cash, and as they exercised their God-given talents, they gave us another economic revolution, this time led by new technology advances. Now, this stupid billionaires bill, sponsored by Senator Ron Wyden, would actually tax so-called billionaires from the day their assets started appreciating, when they weren't wealthy and their stock was worthless and the business was worthless and unproven. But that's how this tax would work. That is monumentally stupid. Then there's the issue that year in and year out, the list of the richest people changes. It changes a lot. The IRS has done studies of the so-called Fortunate 400, and it shows that 71% of the very rich qualify for the list only once. This is courtesy of the Tax Foundation. It's a key point regarding the top 400 taxpayers. It's a moving target. If this goofy idea ever went into place, the IRS would be shooting at a moving target. And by the way, it's not just billionaires now. It's defined as those who earn more than $100 million in 3 consecutive years. So beware, folks. That number is going to be coming down lower and lower. You wait and see. Now, the IRS, of course, believes we're all guilty of hiding information in our bank accounts. The other problem is mark-to-market values often go up, and they often come down. The wealthiest tend to have their wealth from the sale of capital assets or the sale of private businesses. As markets fluctuate, so would their taxable value under this regime. We used to believe that capital investments turn to taxable income when and only when there's a transaction to make a sale. Now, even that is subject to constitutional interpretation over different definitions of wealth and income. But finally, I just want to remind people that these billionaires, vilified, have created literally tens and tens of millions of jobs down through the years. Those jobs led to higher wages and greater family income. We used to believe that you could start a business at home around some crazy idea that nobody believed in, and then you keep at it, and it becomes a phenomenal good or service. You know, like maybe a small cell phone, or a computer, or a medical procedure, medical equipment, or therapies and vaccines to save America. Those folks who succeeded way back before they got rich, way back, they should be praised as the entrepreneurial backbone of the free enterprise American economy. We used to think that way. This is the land of opportunity. One thing my two presidential bosses knew, Ronald Reagan and Donald Trump: government policies should reward success, not punish it. They understood incentives mattered, and if it pays more to work, invest, innovate, invent, they will do so. And if it pays less, they won't. And we used to understand that a good paying job requires a solid, healthy business. But if you penalize the business through higher taxes, it will fail. And then so will the workforce. Or if the business reaches out to investors, but we heavily tax the capital from investors, then they won't take risks. And there won't be a healthy new business, and there won't be a prospering new workforce delivering higher and higher incomes to help their families. I'm speaking common sense here. Not supply side, not Keynesian, just common sense. So I say save America. Kill the bill. And that's my riff this evening.